Ray, what do you feel when you touch walls of Oxford and Cambridge universities? Okay, for those applying to Oxford or Cambridge University, they have to be prepared for difficult interviews.
If you make sure that you're prepared and you've got people that guide you, you have much more of a chance of getting in.
You won't know in advance what questions.
No.
So what's the secret? If you don't know what questions will be asked, then how can you prepare for them?
Hello, knowledge seekers. Have you ever wondered what kinds of questions echoed through the halls where Stephen Hawking and Oscar Wilde once studied at Oxford and Cambridge? Today, we're revealing admissions insights that can turn your interview from a nervous, "I'm not sure," into a confident, "When do I start?" An Oxford or Cambridge interview isn't a test of memorized facts. It's a dance of logic, analysis, and critical thinking. What matters isn't just the answer, it's how you get there, ready to take on this intellectual challenge. Then here are admissions tips tested by time and by our students.
Ray, what do you feel when you touch walls of Oxford and Cambridge universities? Touch it. What do you feel?
Let's have a go.
Yeah. What do you feel?
I feel centuries and centuries of academic excellence.
Excellent.
Brilliant people coming through these arches over the centuries.
Give me
Not
some
one or
names.
two.
Give me some names. Oxford. We're in Oxford now. Margaret Thatcher.
Margaret Thatcher, indeed. Cameron, the Prime Minister of the UK. Johnson, this is just politics.
Yeah.
Although Margaret Thatcher was a chemist, she studied chemistry. I think at St Hilda's, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
So yeah, lots. St Anthony Eden, I think, also was here for Oxford. But you've got people like Andrew Wiles, the mathematician. He also studied at Cambridge. There's just so many that you, just like Cambridge.
The list is huge.
The list is huge, and
Yeah.
people that you don't expect. Actors, some of the most famous actors in the world studied at Oxford. You know Hugh Grant?
Yeah.
Hugh Grant studied here. Many. And so it's not just that it's old, but it produces some of the most brilliant researchers and scientists in the world.
Of course. Okay, for those applying to Oxford or Cambridge University, they have to be prepared for difficult interviews. Some say fierce interviews.
Yes.
Would it be right to say, or?
Well, they try not to be.
Yeah?
The tutors try and make it as...
Are they friendly?
They try to be.
Interviewers?
They try to be,
Yeah.
but the problem is, when they ask you a difficult question, it can come across as not being friendly, because they're trying to push you to see your thought processes, how you work,
Yeah.
how you approach problems, and to do that, they must challenge you. And so it's always uncomfortable to be challenged.
Yeah.
And you're only in there for maybe the maximum half an hour, you and maybe two people who are asking you questions.
So it's not just one interviewer, there could be two.
There's usually two interviews, but there could be one or two people in the room interviewing you.
Coffees and teas offered, I hope?
Sometimes they're not. I remember one person wrote to the newspaper complaining she wasn't even offered a glass of water during the interview.
Oh dear.
So it is quite stressful. But one of the things that we do is that once we know that you've been called for interview, our preparation starts. So we'll start with a program. We'll individualize your program for the degree that you're applying for, which college that you're applying for. And then what we do is we set up a series of sessions where we say, we'll talk you through things first. We'll tell you what we expect from you, and then you can practice it. And then what we can do is we can break the interview down into small parts, stop after each part, explain how well you're doing and maybe points that you could be improving.
Very structured preparation.
It has to be. It has to be. If you expect to walk into an interview and click and give every response and not be skilled and trained in this area, then you're just opening up things to luck.
Did you know that only 18% of applicants pass an Oxford or Cambridge interview on their first try? Ray is your guide in this world. He doesn't just train students to give rehearsed answers. He teaches them to think like an Oxford professor with analysis, flexibility, and depth. For example, his students study case problems from philosophy or even Hawking's physics to learn how to build strong arguments. Preparation for Cambridge and Oxford interviews with him even includes role-playing exercises with former admissions tutors.
So Ray, be honest, how difficult it is to get into a top university like Oxford or Cambridge?
The very best?
Very best.
Very difficult, very challenging. And if you want numbers, just as an example, Oxford, Cambridge, roughly they get about 24,000 applicants, and usually they'll accept 3,500.
No way.
Across
Okay.
all subjects.
It is difficult, but fair to say, possible.
Possible, yes.
With the right help and preparation.
Yes. So if you make sure that you're prepared and you've got people that guide you, you have much more of a chance of getting in.
There we go.
Picture yourself in the hall where Lewis Carroll once studied, facing a quantum mechanics question, and you're smiling because you've already tackled this with Ray. Why keep guessing? Book a consultation and we'll forge your personal key to Oxford or Cambridge's doors. The path from applicant to student starts with one conversation.
But you won't know in advance what questions.
No.
So what's the secret? If you don't know what questions will be asked, then how can you prepare for them?
Well, you can prepare the process. So if you're, let's say, a mathematician and you're applying for maths, they might give you a maths problem before you go into the interview.
Oh, yeah.
Half an hour before you go in.
So they practice that too?
Well, they'll give you a question at Oxford and then you try and work out the solution. You go into the interview and they'll talk through it. They'll say, so what made you decide this particular thing and what made you write this and this and this? And because they're looking for the process. Now, obviously the answer is important, but the process is more important. They're looking to see how you approach things. And if you're analytical and if you're careful and you consider multiple factors, then that tends to be a very good trait of a potential student.
So they look at different things depending on who or what you apply for, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So for example, if you're studying law, again, the process of how do you break down a problem that they possibly give you. And so the way that you approach things suggests to me you would make a very, very good student. You're not random, you're not making stuff up, you're considering things. And when you get stuck in an interview, they'll prompt you. They'll give you a little help to get you going, because sometimes people that get into Oxford might stumble in the interview. They might I don't know. Now we always say to people who go for interview, be honest. If you get to a point you're not sure, just say, look, I don't know from this point. Guess what will happen? Nothing. The tutor will usher you and say, no problem, let me show you how this part's done. Let's move on to continue it.
All right,
So you should
it's
never...
not an automatic failure.
No, not at all. And some famous people come out of the interview saying, I failed. That's it, better go off somewhere else.
Yeah, really?
And then they get the letter saying, welcome to Oxford. So it's demanding. And so if you have the chance for someone to help you, to structure the kinds of things that you'll be expecting, and then to practice that with mock interviews, that has to improve your chances. Because when you go in there, you know what's coming.
When you say mock interviews, are there such things?
We do mock interviews.
You do mock?
Yes.
How you call them mock interview?
Curious about conquering not just the humanities? We've got special episodes for you. How to ace your Oxford medical interview, crack the algorithms for the IT faculty, or maybe become a future Lord Chancellor.
Maybe.
Legal life hacks are waiting for you on our channel. Subscribe. Here, everyone can find their academic holy grail.
So how long does your preparation take?
As long as it takes.
As long as it takes?
As long as it takes. If you're good and we think you're ready, maybe 3 or 4 mock interviews and sessions to help you. If we feel that you need more time, we give you more time.
But listen, with your service package, you have 8 major sessions. But when you say 3, 4, I mean, it can go beyond those sessions which you...
You see, for us, if you get to an interview stage and you got to that point, that's where we say, no, it's too close. Of course we're going to help you more.
Yeah.
You've had 8 sessions, yeah, sure. But since you're so close, let's dive in and do more. Let's help you more. So we'll give you as enough to be able to prep. And when we say, we think you're ready, that's when we say, okay, enough, now off you go and see what you can do in that interview. And in fact, what you can do is sometimes you'll spend maybe two days in Oxford, right? 1 night, 2 days.
Yeah.
So on the night of your first interview, WhatsApp us, message us, say, how did it go? We'll ask you for feedback. How did it go? How are you feeling? What was it like? Have you got a second
Because
interview?
you are an interested person, you know. I know that you do not advertise your services, but you have so many clients by word of mouth.
Well, to be honest, if you are honest and sincere and you give good advice, really based on experience and success, of course you have to give more than just, you know, it's more than a product. If you come to me and you're ready to go to an interview at Oxford and you've had all your sessions, what am I going to say?
Yeah. Yeah.
Of course, come. Whatever it takes for you to do really well in that interview, come, we'll do it. Yeah.
Ever thought about taking your university interview prep to the absolute next level, even turning your weaknesses into strengths? For example, studying medieval tavern menus to impress at a history interview, or solving problems written in Gothic script to sharpen your focus. The result: you'll be ready to tackle every stage of the admissions process with a true out-of-the-box approach.
Job interviews versus university interviews, universities like Oxford and Cambridge, which are more challenging? What would you say?
They're both challenging, but Oxford and Cambridge are unique in the way that they structure the interviews. So preparation is everything. So if you have people like us helping you to make the preparation, to do mock interviews, to find out what kinds of questions, you will be much better prepared.
And you do this for over 25 years now.
years.
Such experienced man, and I know that you love what you do.
I love what I do because it gives you a great satisfaction to know that somebody's got into Oxford or Cambridge. Fabulous.
Ask for help.
Why choose us for your Cambridge or Oxford interview preparation?
All good questions.
Because we're not just education consultants on your screen.
Ray, you're a parent. I'm the parent. You're papa. I'm a papa.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I have 2 kids.
I have one.
You have 1. Graduate of Cambridge University.
He is.
So we look at those, or at these things from the parental view.
Of course.
Yeah?
I don't know about you, but when I went through the process, I was so stressed, even with all my knowledge, because it's my child, it's his future. I can't make any mistakes. I only have the one.
Even being an expert in this field.
Even being an expert, you
still-
worry.
Exactly.
You're thinking, you know, he's not paying enough attention. Why doesn't he try harder? So these are the kinds of things that when you come to us, we say, look, we've been there. You've been there and I've been there.
Yeah.
And I really think that this makes a big difference when you come to make an application.
So we're not just experts in the field of education.
But
and
we're parents.
We're parents. We're parents. So we understand you, mamas and papas.
Here's the brutal truth. 70% of top university applicants fail interviews due to panic, not ignorance. One student tried discussing Shakespeare and forgot he wrote Hamlet. This isn't about cramming facts. It's about training stress resilience and logic. Those who prepare for over 6 months quadruple their success rates. Ready to join them.
What are the most important factors when applying to top universities?
Well, there are 3 major factors, 3 of the most important. So, of course, the first is your academic excellence. Your grades have to be stellar, you have to have consistent high marks. So that academic background is the #1 thing. So the second thing is they're looking for a genuine interest in your subject, the degree that you want to study. And you have to show this by all sorts of things. That genuine interest is important, perhaps later on if you get an interview. And the third thing is, are you more than just the subject? Can you show that you can offer the university other things that maybe will contribute to the university life?
So, your mission, should you choose to accept it, hit the bell so you don't miss more tips on turning that nervous tremor into confidence during your university interviews. Give a like if you've picked up even one admission secret that brings you closer to your dream. Share this video with anyone currently buried in Mission Impossible-style application guides. Remember, even Newton once stumbled over the apple of ignorance, but he got back up, and so can you. We believe the next genius, whose name will be engraved on Oxford's walls, could be you. See you where discoveries are born.